Good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to be here. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm a former English teacher, taught for 15 years, loved it with a passion. So I'm going to recite two poems for you today and then jump into the rest of my presentation. The first one is by a poet by the name of Paul Laurence Dunbar, wrote during the Harlem Renaissance. It's entitled Sympathy. And it goes like this. I know why the caged bird sings, alas, when the sun is bright on the upland slopes, when the wind stirs soft through the springing grass and the river flows like a stream of glass. When the first bird sings and the first bud opes and the faint perfume from its chalice steals, I know what the caged bird feels. I know why the caged bird beats its wings till its blood is red on the cruel bars. For he must fly back to his perch and cling when he fain would be on a boughless wing. And the pain still throbs in the old scars, and they pulse again with a keener sting. I know why the caged bird beats its wings. I know why the caged bird sings all me when his wing is bruised and his bosom sore, when he beats his bars and he would be free. It is not a carol of joy or glee, but a prayer that he sends from his heart's deep core, a plea that upward to heaven he'd fling. I know why the caged bird sings. That's the first poem by Paul Laurence Dunbar, who spoke about the African-American plight at the time, 1960s, and in many ways them feeling caged from opportunity, caged from freedom, caged from opportunities to be great and successful and to contribute. And then there's a second poem that I'm going to recite real quick. The author is Alfonsina Storni, a Spanish poet, who wrote in many ways about the same issue. And it goes like this. Hombre pequeñito, hombre pequeñito, hombre pequeñito, suelta a tu canario que quiero volar, y oso el canario, hombre pequeñito, déjame saltar. Estuve en tu ala, hombre pequeñito que ala me das. Digo pequeñito, porque no me entiendes, no me entenderás. Tampoco te entiendo, pero mostrando, ábreme la jalo que quiero escapar. Hombre pequeñito, déjame media hora, no me pidas más. Spanish poet, wrote about the same thing. A woman caged, inability to be free, inability to maximize opportunity. You say, why did you start this conversation about those poems? Because those poems represent two communities, African American, Latino community, that are oftentimes during that time feeling a feeling of being caged. And while we have made tremendous progress from the Harlem Renaissance, in many ways, I'm concerned about an intellectual bondage, an academic bondage, that if we're not careful will take us back to the way we used to be. And that's why many of us are in this room right now to ensure that that doesn't happen. And all I want to do is show you how we at the Gates Foundation attack this issue. 3 ways. 1, college-ready expectations for all students. High expectations, Common Core. 2nd, great teaching, making sure that every single student has a great teacher. As a matter of fact, I want to do an exercise real quick, go into my teacher days. I want everyone, I did this last night, and it was true. I want everyone to think of a great teacher that you had in your life. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to do it. Get that teacher's name in your mind. And in 5 seconds, I want everyone to say that name together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Say it. Everyone has one. You just filled the room with great teaching. But the question becomes, how can we ensure that that is the case, not just for 1 year or one experience or one class, but consistently throughout all of children's experience? And then the third thing that we work on at the foundation is personalized learning. So, college-ready expectations, high expectations, making sure that all students are reaching high, tiptoeing through literacy and math, effective teaching, and personalized learning. I want to take just a second to talk about effective teaching. For too many years, we have acted, though, as though every teacher was above average. In some ways, I refer to it as the Lake Wobegon profession, right? We all know Garrison Keillor's words. That's the news from Lake Wobegon, where all the women are strong, all the men are good looking, and all the kids are above average. We have acted as though all teachers were above average. Not necessarily the case. We know that just wasn't true. One of the things that we've been doing at the foundation is figuring out how do we actually create a distribution that is fairer, that actually shows that some teachers are less effective than others. Some are doing a phenomenal job. But oftentimes, and I taught for many years, I remember being a teacher that was here, somewhere in the middle, but I wasn't being given the support to ensure that I moved from here over to here. And people ask, what does the Gates Foundation do? In many ways, one of the things that we're seeking to do is find ways to show that this is oftentimes the distribution of effectiveness in school systems. Not a lot of people here, but there are a few. Not a lot of people here, but there can be more, and every single child in this country deserves teachers that are moving in this distribution. It's that simple. And so the question becomes, how do we actually work this curve? How do you get this curve to go from this side more to this side? This is the work that I do. This is the work that is fundamentally important, I believe, actually throughout the country. There are 4 strategies to do that. 1, make sure you get more new teachers into the profession who are great when they begin, who are strong when they begin. This requires a teacher prep strategy. Over 200 and some thousand teachers coming into the profession each year. What are teacher prep institutions doing to ensure that they come into the profession closer to this side of the distribution than this side of the distribution? That is a teacher prep strategy, and we are engaged in that. The second strategy, professional development. Strong professional development. Everyone say 18 billion. Come on, say it with a little more life than that. 18 billion. That's how much we spend in this country on professional development. How much of it, annually, how much of it is actually producing a shift in the performance distribution for teachers? That's the second strategy. The third strategy, how do we ensure that we're actually keeping strong teachers in the profession and that those strong teachers become the teachers who support teachers to move to this side of the distribution? Strong teacher leadership. Fourth strategy, equitable distribution. Making sure that these teachers are in front of kids who need them the most, not these. And then finally, exiting teachers. If you can't do it, you can't stay in it. You can't stay in the profession. I want to end with a poem called Opportunity, because I think that's what we have at this time. It goes like this: Master of human destinies am I. Fame, love, and fortune on my footsteps wait. Cities and fields I walk, I penetrate deserts and seas remote, and passing by hovel in mart and palace soon or late. I knock, unbidden once at every gate. If sleeping wake, if feasting rise before I turn away, it is the hour of fate, and they who follow me reach every state mortals desire. But those who hesitate, condemned to failure, penury, and woe, seek me in vain and uselessly implore. I answer not, I return no more, and that is my music to get off stage.
Now don't you ever